Hi friends, this is Sarah from Crafting and Relaxing. Welcome, I'm so glad that you joined me today. Some of you have said that you like my channel because it's real, because I'll tell you when I mess up and I'll show you the good and the bad and it's not structured and professional and all of that. So today I'm going to tell you, today is a little bit like when I showed you what I did to my art glitter glue. I'm going to fess up and then we'll talk about how I think I might get out of it. Okay. Sorry, my camera is usually in the right spot, but these are big items. Okay, I have a bunch of videos where I'm comparing cutters, and I purchased the Caterpillar Crop, and I would like to tell you that I got it at Hobby Lobby on one of those amazing clearances like some of you did. I did not. I paid retail for it. The Caterpillar Crop, in the directions, it has an arm that goes out, it has a blade that goes back and forth, has a light. It's pretty cool. It's great because you can do 12-inch cuts with it. It has a nice big bed right here for card makers, so it goes all the way out to 6.5, so you don't have that 4.5 seam that some things have. So it's great. It says right in the directions, do not put too much stuff in this and force it. And you can kind of see where this is going, right? If you've watched my videos. There was a day not long after I got this that I had too much in it and I was pushing and I just pushed. And I thought, well, I'm in the middle of it. What do I do now? What I probably should have done, note to self, is stopped, pulled off the layers of paper and like cut it out with scissors. I should have stopped. I had several pieces of cardstock, maybe 110. Just so you know, I don't think I had many. I think I maybe had 4 or 5, something that I thought it would be able to do. I used to have one of those great big Fiskars ones where you push the cutter down and roll it back and forth, and I kind of thought this would be able to do a lot. It does not. It does a great job, but I wouldn't put more than 2 pieces of paper in this if I was you, because last time I was making a big stack of cards, I noticed that if you can't see these, I'm going to have to ink these up. I'll ink one. I noticed that my card bases were jagged. See that? And so what I did to overcome that, because, you know, I was in the middle of making cards, was I took my, not this bone folder, but my Teflon one, that overpriced luxury bone folder that if I lost it, I would buy another one, with this flat end, and I ran it along them as I put them together, because I thought, well, I must have put too many pieces of paper. Let me show you in case it didn't show up very well on camera. That's not going to work. Okay, there. You can kind of see. Can you see on that edge where it's like it's rippled? I don't know if you can see that. I thought, so what I do is I sit down and I make a bunch of card bases, and then another day I'll make cards. So I just assumed when they were all jagged that I had put too many pieces of paper in or not used a good cutter, because I do have a lot of different cutters sitting around. And one side of them is really nice and then the other side is jagged. So today I was making them and I was using my Caterpillar Crop, and I was doing 1, maybe 2 at a time. And I noticed it was doing the same thing. Let me see if I can get it to show you. And what it does is the side next to the green base cuts perfectly. The other side of the paper is rough. So the part that's over here. So I sat down and with a flashlight, I looked at my blade. I got a pencil with an eraser on it, if you're trying to figure out how to spin your blade, and spun this blade around and looked at it, and it's bent up. And if you look, like my collision, my overloading occurred just about here, and I can see with the naked eye that the bar right here has some divots out of it. I did it. It's not their fault. So when I look at this blade, the blade is rough on the exterior side. It smoothed itself out on this side. It's kind of self-healing and you run it back and forth. So I'm thinking about taking the blade apart, rotating it. I don't know if that's a choice. I don't recommend it, and I can't find the directions, but I'll try and look online and see if it smooths it out. But essentially, I have a whole stack of card bases that are rough on one side. Then I thought, well, maybe it's cheap paper, right? Because I'm using the Recollections 110 pound from Michaels. But I just want to let you know, I cut, these are for my vertical cards. They're 4 1/4 wide. I fold them in the middle and they're tall. Then I cut for my horizontal cards. I went and got this cutter out, the Tonic that I so love, but it doesn't do 12 by 12. And I cut these and they're perfect. The edges are perfect. They're smooth. They look like I bought them pre-cut, which I don't do, but I know some people do. Then I asked my awesome neighbor to help me, Noni. She has the Tim Holtz Tonic Studios. She has the big version of the little guy. We both have this little guy and we love it. This big one, I forgot why we don't like it. And then today I remembered. It does cut perfectly. I have some right here where I cut it in half and it was perfect. But if you don't hold the arm just right, I'll show you this one. This one will definitely show when I ink it. You get this. See it? It's like the torn look, and I don't want that for my card bases. That is because when you cut, you have to hold the arm in towards the cutting blade. So if you cut just like this and you push it down, or I didn't hold the thing, so that's not fair, but that one was even worse. Look at that. It's ridiculous. So if you hold the paper down and you just push this thing down, you're going to get kind of this gnawed on look. Okay? So if you have this cutter and you've been frustrated, hold it down, tip this arm in a little bit, and then push down. And you will get a perfect cut. The problem is, if you're talking or you're watching TV and you haven't used this a lot, you might not remember to pull it in. You can't just push it down, you have to pull it in. I don't love this thing. I think the handle sticks out too far. I think it's a little long. I also like lower cutters. That's one thing I like about the green one. It is like at least a ½ an inch shorter. So you're not lifting your paper up so much, and I don't know, it's just annoying. But it would do a good job. So I'm going to cut my card bases either on this one or, ironically, the $10, I think I paid less than 10, Cricut. They don't call it a paper cutter, they call it a paper trimmer if you want to find it on their website. The thing about this is these kind of little blades weren't really designed to do multiple cuts on 110 pound cardstock, right? It's hard on this cutter to do that. So I was trying to use one of my big metal ones. But learn from me, if you have the Caterpillar crop, don't overload it. If you have the Tim Holtz Tonic one, you can hold in the arm. I know that somebody else has a cutter just like this and she loves it. So I don't know if Noni just got a bad one. If you guys have this cutter, will you tell me, do you have to hold the arm in and be careful with it? Or does it work just fine every time perfectly? I would love to hear. And if you believe there is a magic cutter out there, tell me about it. The only one I know of that I haven't tried is the big orange. It's a Fiskars, I think, and it folds up. So it's super heavy and big, but maybe that's the one. Maybe that's the one for me. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I just wanted to be honest with you. I was just going to shove this cutter in the shop and not mention it, but I just thought I should tell you because maybe it will keep you from damaging yours. And I probably will try the blade thing, but cutting 110 pound card bases is pretty much the toughest thing that I ask of a cutter, and I don't know that this green one will actually be able to do that again. So thanks so much for watching. I have more videos coming up, but it's going to be a busy week. And Noni and I were talking about a freeze and why it's so stressful. And it's FOMO, you guys. It's fear of missing out. That it's not that you have to have everything that everyone else has. It's just what if it gets away? And keep in mind, if you're an orange lover, sure, go shop this time of year because this is your season. But if you like pink, there's always pink. So more pink stuff will come out and you will be fine. Blue, I shop a lot at 4th of July and at winter because that is when there's amazing blue stuff. So that's just kind of something to keep in mind, is don't let the crafting FOMO get you. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.